Hello, welcome to Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 377. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a Tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
So I was reading before this about retirement, and I don't know if any of it's true because who knows, but it was based, It was based on one surveys of people who retired, and then it was also based on, what'd I tell you? It was some sort of government retirement data or something. Anyways, forever the main goal has been having $1 million. Like if you got $1 million, you can retire, right? Which is far from true, but that's what people said forever. Inflation's gone up so much and people still think $1 million is a lot, right?
Oh, right.
Which is just dumb because $1 million now, from what people used to talk about $1 million for retirement back in late 90s, early 2000s, like is 1/3 of the value now. So now you should be really thinking about like 3 million.
Right.
Anyways, it said that 16% of like surveyors reported that they retired with $1 million in savings / assets. So that could be your home, cars, rentals, savings, retirement, everything, right?
Right.
And then it said, so 16% actually make retirement with that. Then it said 3.2% from like the retirement, whatever, some agency. 3.2% is the actual amount of people who have 1 million liquid, so like cash and savings.
That's wild. That's a big difference.
It's a huge difference because 1 million liquid you can use. 1 million assets. I mean, if your house is 400 grand, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So I thought it was interesting. I actually, a couple things I thought about was, and I would think it's just something I've been thinking about, after Greg Hazelwander, came and spoke about like why you're doing shit to remind yourself why you're doing stuff and whatnot. And it goes back into like someone's vision, someone's why, whatever. It's so easy to get caught up on growth that you lose track of what you're doing shit for. Brandon Turner made a post about that.
Yeah, he did. Brandon
Turner went on to the Bigger Pockets podcast, this scene a long time ago, and his goal was to replace his income, make real estate a full-time job, but just replace his income so he could enjoy his life, right?
Right.
And being in that world, pretty quickly it turned to growth. And everything he was doing was growth. And so he built a huge syndication company, which from what I've heard, a lot of them weren't successful or aren't currently doing well. We've got a fussing baby. But anyway, so he makes this post like that says, hey, remember why you did this. Remember why you're doing all this. Because like don't lose track of why you started. Don't just strive for growth. Remember your purpose, your why, and it's very achievable to replace your income if you're thinking about that, right? If you keep that in mind. Do you want this baby?
Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
Okay, keep going.
And also like you can do like replace your income with a lot less. If your only goal is to replace your income with real estate, you can do it with a lot less if you're just more efficient.
Well, if you're more efficient and if you're not raising your lifestyle a bunch, because he even said in the post,
because he bought a house in Hawaii, didn't he?
He's got a house in Maui, but when he bought that house in Maui, keep in mind, he bought a triplex.
That's true.
So he could rent out both, and then, he only has to pay the mortgage based on his one unit.
But I guess what you don't think about, though, is like, it's more expensive to live in general in Hawaii. Like, food's more expensive.
Yep. And, I mean, he flies in a private jet everywhere. His standard of living's way higher.
Well, yeah, because if your other investments are on the mainland, then you have to fly back and forth, and that's not cheap.
Well, and then you can't manage your own stuff. So you have to have a secondary management company, and we have people after people after people come and speak at Wiscoria, at Recon. Not one of them makes a solid argument for having a PM company. Like, none. Like, they're all like, a lot of them are like, you can have a PM company and it's okay, especially if you're like not that big. It's like, what, it's not, but they say like almost everyone who talks says you, by operating your own thing, no one cares as much as you. So you're able to get so much more out by managing it yourself.
Yeah.
And it's true. We've noticed it firsthand. We've talked to so many people who've noticed that firsthand.
It's also funny too, because I think all of them as well are also just like, it sucks managing your own properties.
Oh, it does.
But yeah, so I mean, it's either like you just suck it up and you make the systems, hire people to do it for you if you have a lot of units. Or you just know you're not going to make as much money if you have a property management company.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's cool. I think it's fun, and it's a good reminder, like, hey, what are you doing this for? Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Don't just grow to grow. Like, have a reason behind why you want to grow.
Right.
And I don't know. I think, like, it's cool to grow if that's what you want, or if you got a good why for why like you want to grow, or you are building good systems. So when you do grow, like, it's natural growth. It's like good quality growth that you can handle. Because I mean, Greg and I talk about that too. Like, build a good, solid foundation. Take your time. Build foundation. Build. Then when you're ready to run. And let, and then it happens. And then you don't have to worry. Like, you're not worrying about shit falling apart because you've built it. You know how it's going to go. You know what I'm saying? It's just, so I don't know. I like reading shit like that because it does make me question, like, what am I doing?
Right.
Because a lot of the time I'm like, oh, I should do this. And I'm like, but why?
Okay. Should we go on our real topic?
Go on a real topic.
We're going to talk about communication and relationships.
Yep.
And I think in general, did we discuss like relationships after Jen's thing? We discussed a little bit when we were talking about recon. Yeah. But it can be all relationships. Like, it's not just like your significant other relationships. Like, it can be with your family, with coworkers, with acquaintances. Like, just all relationships are honestly pretty important, or can be important.
Yep.
And I guess I don't really know like what we want to.
Okay, so on that, I was a friend of ours, John Wilkerson. I was out looking at doing some work for him, and I was chatting to him, and he mentioned how like Jen spoke right to his heartstrings when she talked about relationships, and I let Jen know that, like, because he said when he got into cleaning, how he built his business and grew his business was all through quality relationships with contractors. And so I gave Jen some feedback about, like, hey, relate this to everyone, and talk more, maybe make your presentation a little more broad about that, because
she, like, her main relationship is with attorneys.
Yeah.
And that's like all she really touched on was
attorneys. Where, like, yeah, John's like, what John found out was best for his business was relationships with contractors. So anyways, yeah, that part's really cool, and it makes a lot of sense because, like, everyone's got their niche to help their business grow the most, where you don't have to have a huge marketing budget. But so, yeah, I think what we talk about today a little bit is communication and relationship. Like, we are not experts on this. That we are not experts. We just had some experience with it. So we'll just...
Yeah, we've gone through a lot.
Yeah, we'll just share our experiences. But like what I've noticed, and what tell them what Jen said. Her sister-in-law asked her.
So obviously we had little baby Lily at Recon, and so we were talking about babies and whatnot. Jen is not a baby person, which I totally understand.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm also not a baby person still. I love my baby, but once she's out of this, I don't think I'm going to miss a whole lot of it.
Yep.
But anyways.
You'll miss the snuggles.
I'll miss the snuggles and the little bit of laziness, but yeah, it's about it. So Jen has a 10 and a 7-year-old. So she had kids first, and her sister-in-law asked her when she was pregnant with her first, what's the best piece of advice you can give a first-time mom? And Jen told her to make sure your relationship with your husband is solid, because you will go through hell and you will hate them.
Right.
And I was just like, yeah, I could see that. And I mentioned, I was like, Shaun's actually been like a champ, like really helpful. And I could totally understand, like, if our relationship wasn't as good as it is, how this stage with a baby would be miserable. Mm-hmm. It would suck. I could so easily hate you.
Oh yeah.
But like, we kind of communicated like before having a baby of like what our roles were going to be. And so that like really helped when she did come. Like it's been a smooth transition, I would say.
Yeah. And well, part of how she said it was like, identify your relationship with your husband.
Yeah.
Which it all comes down to like communication mm-hmm. and talking shit through. And Sam and I have been doing that for years. Yeah. We tried not communicating. Doesn't work the best. Like, that was early on.
Oh, yeah. At the beginning of our relationship.
Yeah, we tried not. That doesn't work too well. But then communicating through like everything helps you identify what the other person needs.
Yeah.
Right? And so instead of guessing or assuming mm-hmm. what the other person's thinking, wanting, whatever, it's a lot easier to just ask.
Yeah.
Or tell them what you expect and what you want.
Yeah.
That's also really easy.
So
it's really simple. It's not easy, mm-hmm. which is stupid because you'll sit here and live under the same roof as someone without fucking telling them what you need, mm-hmm. which is the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah. So like, I mean, that's like something we discussed. Like, pretty much I would be mainly full baby duty, and Shaun would help clean the house, cook me food, and do all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So we had our designated roles, and we communicated that beforehand, and we've had very few issues.
Right.
The only issues I think we have had were baby not wanting to be quiet at times. We wanted her to be mm-hmm. quiet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then through this whole process, we were just like both been communicating about like what we want to do, like throughout a day. Even like the other day I called Shaun and I was just like, I need you to come home because this thing is just a mm-hmm. tyrant. And that was, I mean, that's all I had to do. I just had to ask like what I needed from him.
Right.
And then I'm not like being resentful that he doesn't have tits that, produce milk.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, so that's just like one part of it, right? Is having a baby, but like it goes in through all parts of your relationship.
Yep.
We kind of have like a kind of silent agreement, I guess, where like I prefer to do laundry, so like I do laundry most of the time. Shaun prefers to do dishes, so Shaun does dishes most of the time. Mm-hmm. But obviously, like, if one of us has free time or whatever, like, we'll do the other ones.
Right.
But, like, I'm never resentful if I have to do laundry and dishes, because maybe Shaun had to go do a million things for work. Like, right. It's just a kind of a little, like, agreement that we made a long time ago, and we just follow it as best as we can.
Yeah.
And it just... it goes into all parts of your relationship. You have to be communicative with everything. And I know that's like one issue like women have. Women don't like to ask for things. They think the husband should just assume that they know what to do.
Yeah.
But like, I have a checklist in my head, like every single Sunday, like we wash towels, we wash sheets, we wash the clothes. And like, I know every other week I wash the bath mat and the dish mat with the towels. Once a month I wash the shower curtains with everything. But like, Shaun doesn't know that.
Nope.
So I have this like checklist in my head and I just like go and do it. And obviously when she came, well, I did all that stuff on Saturday to make sure.
Right.
Just in case if I went into labor that it was done. But the following week, like our sheets didn't get washed because like Shaun doesn't think about that because I've taken care of that for 5 years, 6 years.
That ain't on my radar.
No.
Homie.
But I wasn't mad about it because, well, one, I wasn't sleeping in the bed, so it didn't really matter to me. But we had a shit ton of other things going on that I was just like, okay, the sheets not getting cleaned for a week is not that big of a deal.
No.
But I mean, very easily I could have asked Shaun, be like, hey, can you put the sheets in the wash?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't care enough.
I didn't care either.
I figured.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you good.
So it's just like little things like that you need. And like little things. I'm talking like be communicative with little things. If it like annoys you that like they did something or they didn't do something, bring it the fuck up.
Right.
Shaun, how often do we fight?
We don't really fight. And
if we ever do, it's because one of us didn't communicate something and then we let it just fester in our minds.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's like finally once all these little things add up, then we like explode.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's usually just bickering about some dumb shit.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Usually I'll just be like, well, it would have been nice that we were out of peanut butter.
Yeah. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yep.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't stress enough, like, just talking. I've got so many friends. Or no, okay, I'll put it this way. This is better yet. I have multiple friends who are like, how'd you find someone like Sam? And I'm like, find someone like Sam? I'm like, you retarded? I'm like, I've been training her for years.
We've been training each other.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But what's training her? I'm like, what do you mean? Where'd I find Sam? I'm like, fucking 7 years, 8 years now?
8 years.
8 years of just like telling you what the fuck I want.
Mm-hmm.
And then going, hey, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
And then going, how can we have this together?
Yeah.
And hey, I don't like that. Maybe we don't do that. Or like, hey, I don't like that, but you like that. So like, let's, whatever. Watch your fucking stupid, what's that shit you watch?
Right now?
Yeah, what's this shit? Deadliest Catch?
Yeah.
Go ahead, watch your fucking Deadliest Catch when I'm not around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what we're going to do. It's actually that one I really don't care about. It's the fucking...
Oh, the Bake Show?
No, that one sucks. But Love on the Love Island shit.
Oh, yeah. Or what was the Bachelor one?
Love is Blind?
Love is Blind, I do really like. I've only have watched the first 2 seasons. Season 8 just came out.
Okay, well, we ain't going back. So shit like that. I'm like, this is retarded. Don't do this around me.
Yeah. But like, I have the same, like, there's shows that Shaun likes to watch, and I said, don't watch this around me.
For sure, dude.
So.
For sure. Nah, it's just that communication piece. And then like, my favorite hobbies work and working out.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam just understands that I'm going to work and work out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just how it is. And now she works with me and works out with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
And then, like, this is how it started, right? Like, when we started dating, I was on and off working out, but not like a good working out, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started going with Shaun, and I had a piss poor attitude. And one day Shaun was like, either you change your attitude or I'm not working out with you again.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, I need to change my attitude. And then, I guess to start off with, you said that you wanted to be dating someone that worked out.
Yeah.
So I was like, because you said you can either spend 2 hours with me at the gym or I'm going to be at the gym for 2 hours without you. And
Yep.
I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to the gym.
Yeah.
And then I had to change my attitude, and I did that. And now I love it. It's like a part of my life.
Yep.
And then there was like, and don't think of these as like ultimatums. Like, Shaun was bettering me as a person
That's it.
by expressing what he wanted in a woman. And if I wanted to be with Shaun, then I had to change.
That's it.
Yeah.
There was multiple girls, not multiple. There was a few girls that I like saw and that were like, you know, we had the discussion about dating, but we never made to the dating phase because they did not live in like, they did not care about themselves. Their diets were shit. They didn't work out. They like didn't manage their finances well. You know what I'm saying? Like those, when I was younger, those things like, you know, somewhat eating healthy, working out, and managing your finances were my like non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Like if you ain't doing them, then we just ain't fucking hanging out, dude. Like it's that simple. And you manage your finances well, and then the exercising.
Like I wasn't like overweight, but I
No,
wasn't
no.
fit.
Right. And so then you did those, and so then we stayed hanging out. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of this shit is building each other, and then you continue to build each other over time, right? Because, you know, then we moved into like careers and like, hey, I want you to get a better career, stuff like that. We went over, you know, better careers and what to do there. And then you're like, hey, I want you to get like, I want you to hang around with like higher quality people and raise your values and morals. So then I started doing that.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the big things was I told Shaun that he had to start communicating with me
Yeah.
because we had issues that I didn't know were happening because Shaun wouldn't tell me.
Right. Yep.
And so shit was going on and I had no clue.
Right.
And finally, like one day I found out and I was just like, where did this come from? And Shaun's just like, I'm not satisfied. And I'm like, what can I do to change?
Right. Yep. Yeah. And all through communication.
And then I had to force Shaun all the time to communicate with me.
Yeah. And then we started communicating. It's been just clear skies.
So yeah. So here's the two main issues I would say. Men don't express their feelings.
Yep.
And they should. And two, women assume men can read minds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Nope.
Yeah. So pretty much communicate, talk things through. I'll say in a dude standpoint, a few things for like dude wise. My main ones were like, I need to get laid. So if you lay me, then I'm going to stay with you. That's about as simple as it fucking gets.
Men are simple creatures.
Dude, that's about simple. Hey, we got to be on the same page with finances, which finances is like the number one reason for divorce.
Yeah. And that was actually, we got very lucky in that.
Doc, that was day one.
Yeah.
Day one.
We're very fortunate that both of us had like the same mindset.
Yep. There's been times where it's been like, hey, you're getting a lot of control here on both sides. And hey, I ain't perfect, dude. On both sides. So you know, hey, we gotta get down and dirty. We gotta do the deed. We gotta be right with our finances. Hey, we gotta continue to grow. For like 2 years, my favorite word was growth, and Sam's most hated word was growth. Because I'm like, hey, like the last thing I want to do is to sit in a spiral and do the same shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck at a dead end job where we're not moving up. Like, that's not our lives. That's not what we're doing. We're always changing. We're always growing. And so, like, you know, whatever it is, are you gaining new skill sets? Are you like hitting your personal development? Are you, you know, getting more efficient at work? Like, is what we're working towards, you know, what we want in the future, or are we just doing shit to do shit?
Right.
So, you know, getting on the same like growth mindset, you know, and I know we talked about growth at the beginning, but like, growth doesn't have to mean just like bigger. Growth can mean more efficient. Growth can mean better, you know, and stuff. And so, I mean, in yours and my world, growth oftentimes for us means efficiency.
Oh, for sure.
Or better.
Yeah.
You know, better quality, better efficiency, and not so much size.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting right with those few things really were key for me. Those were, and health's the last big one.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's pretty fucking simple in my realm. It's very much like betterment for yourself is what I'm about. And then so those were kind of my non-negotiables that we worked on together and continue to work on. What do you got?
My non-negotiables for you?
Yeah, what were the few things that, if you can think of?
The one was like for sure loyalty.
Yeah, don't put my stick in other sockets.
Yep.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fair one.
Yep. I feel like honesty too.
Honesty's a good one.
Yep. I've had lots of like liars in my life.
Yeah.
So not having that is really nice. And then just someone like that's supportive. And like is like willing to push me, but not get like aggressive.
I see.
Kind of, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So like right now, like obviously like I'm taking it slow, starting to work back out again. And like on about twice a week, like you're just like, you need to go to the gym. And I'm like, yep, yeah, I do. So it's not like going overboard of like 5 days a week. You're like, you need to be working out. You need to be working out. Like we're like, Sean's been gradually like supporting me to get back in, which is nice. I think those are my main things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cause yeah, you had the other ones taken care of. So
there you go. Yeah, it's not, I mean, and the thing is, it's all through communication. If we didn't start communicating 5 years ago, we would not be together. So,
I mean, there were some things like we even had to still work out after we got engaged.
Oh yeah, for sure. Big time. Absolutely. Yep. Which is all right.
Yeah.
You have to keep, the thing is like, once you're married, you still got to keep working those things out.
You got to work those things out. Nonstop.
Yep. There's still like so many things now where it's like, do we actually need to do that? No. Should we do that? Probably not. You know? And shit like that. Like, hey, you know, Sean, you've been a fat fuck and eating too many cheesecakes.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, you're right. I have.
Or Sean, you've been looking at too many fucking cars lately.
Ooh. That happens.
That does happen.
That happens.
But Sean does have to reel me in and tell me I have too many Legos. So, you know.
Yeah, whatever.
Once again, it goes both ways.
So it's very much, it's always continuing, it's always growing, it's always communicating. And that's the only way to be successful is communicate. And then to get on the same page with a lot of shit. And you know what? There's stuff you do that I don't love. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, whatever. That's you. So whatever.
Yeah, the other main thing is like to not get upset if someone like brings up something.
Oh yeah.
That was something that took us. There's still some things like at times we'll each get like mad or something.
Yeah.
But you have to like think about it very open-mindedly. Like, okay, like I understand like why they're bringing this up. Just because if one of us gets mad, like it's not going to help either of us.
Right, exactly.
So you got to be very like calm about things and understanding, and don't make excuses or bring up stupid logic or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just have to be very open-minded about things.
100%, you have to. And don't assume what your partner's thinking.
Yeah. And that is a good one for any type of communicating. Don't go into a meeting with a business partner trying to assume how it's going to go.
Hundy.
Don't assume like literally anything. That was probably one of my worst habits at my previous job, was I would go into meetings assuming like the worst.
Yes.
And then you're already in that negative mindset.
Yep.
And so no matter which way the meeting goes, you're already in that negative mindset.
Right.
So it could go in a positive way, but it's not going to be as exciting or good because you were negative to begin with. So yeah, that's something that's really good for all type of relationships that you have. And like all these things that we're talking about, like, yes, we're relating to our relationship, but think about them with like not just with your significant other, but like once again with business partners, coworkers, acquaintances. Think about those type of boundaries with all those types of people.
100%.
Because we've had issues with coworkers of like not communicating.
Oh yeah.
So when there's no communication, there's going to be issues. And then you get mad, you yell at each other, and you get nowhere.
Yeah. Well, it's also good too to like lay out your expectations for them too. You know, like we have expectations for each other. We got expectations for, you know, business owners, for employees. Having clear expectations so that people know what the fuck you want them doing and not doing.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And the one thing like we actually do need to work on is like reviewing those expectations frequently.
Yes.
We don't review them frequently enough, and like especially in our business, because it's still not like solid. Like our expectations need to be changing as our business is changing.
Yep. So reviewing expectations and then holding people accountable when they're not reaching them. Those are a couple things we really need to work on. We do it good in our relationships.
Yeah.
And like you and I, we do it good between you and I believe. But yeah, that's something like relationships in our business that we need to work on.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's all communication. Everything is. And the more you can communicate, the better. You don't have to get all sappy and gay and, you know, see the fucking people who always talk about masculinity and all that shit. You don't got to do all that. You just got to talk to people.
Literally, like relationship wise, it could be something as simple as just telling your wife that they look good. That's it.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
You're looking like a snack.
I will say, Shaun has made me as a postpartum new mom, feel like I am the sexiest thing in the world.
Sam's got to fight me off daily.
Which I appreciate it. It does make me feel good.
That's good.
Ooh, something else for, which I think someone actually said to do this with business relationships too. Read the book, The 5 Love Languages.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
Because someone said to do it for
business.
Yep, yeah, for your
too.
coworkers, yeah.
Yep.
So Shaun and I know like what our number
PBD
one.
said it.
Yes, what our number one thing is. So like Shaun's is words of affirmation. So I make sure to always tell Shaun how good of a job he's doing, or that he's looking good, or whatever. And then mine is quality time. So Shaun knows that, like, I just like us, even if it's just like us sitting on the couch watching TV together, like just us doing something together, he knows I prefer. But you can apply that to your coworkers. So like we have a subcontractor that we know for sure his is words of affirmation.
Yeah, tell the motherfucker he did a good job.
And he like does great for a week.
100%.
Like he's a new man. So yeah, finding out the love languages for all your coworkers, subcontractor, like people below you,
Yep.
is so important.
Yep.
I should say helpful. It's so helpful.
So helpful. All right, cool. Sweet. That's what we got. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure go out there, communicate with your spouse, your employees, your coworkers.
Yeah.
And build relationships.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to read the book, The 5 Love Languages.
You can just take the test.
Yeah, there's a quiz online. But take it and start applying it to all your relationships.
Love
Cool.
it. All right. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.